Welcome. In this module, we'll take a look at a very important subject, the Cybersecurity Maturity Matrix. The Cybersecurity Maturity Matrix was designed by me in order to address certain security challenges. Now, the security challenges that we have observed, and we have talked about them throughout this course, are that the entire industry is working in a haphazard and non-structured manner while implementing security. And there is no clear roadmap, neither is there a consistent framework which the entire industry can follow in order to implement security. And finally, there is no mechanism how to categorize or how to measure or how to certify the security posture and the security level of an organization. So these are some of the objectives while making and developing the Cybersecurity Maturity Matrix. Let's take a further look. This is a very high-level view of the Cybersecurity Maturity Matrix. As you can see, it has 6 levels. Foundation, number 1, number 2, fundamentals, number 3, hardened, number 4, protected, number 5, monitored, and number 6, secured. And together, these six layers, they form the Cybersecurity Maturity Matrix. Now, let's talk about the industry security challenges for which the Cybersecurity Maturity Matrix has been designed so that these challenges can be solved. First of all, what we have observed and we have talked about is that the grassroots security controls, the most fundamental controls, have not been implemented in Pakistan and the region. And this has not been done in any case as per international best practices. The second challenge is that haphazard and a reactive security approach is being followed. And it's not a structured, proactive mechanism and program. And because of that, the entire security program, it cannot be implemented successfully because it's mostly reactive and it's mostly designed or it's being carried out in such a manner that the fires are being put out and there's no proactive, consistent effort. And thirdly, the security industry is not following any structured security architecture or framework and is rather skipping steps and is missing out on many fundamental actions and controls. So what challenges does CSMM or the Cybersecurity Maturity Matrix address or solve? And these challenges are the same ones that we've talked about earlier in the course. Number 1, that cybersecurity in Pakistan and the region is reactive and is not proactive. The second one, that cybersecurity is superficial. The third one is that there is a box approach or a device approach. And the fourth one is that there's contention and lack of cooperation. And the fifth one, that there's a governance overkill. There's too much documentation and processes and not enough security controls. So how is the local industry coping with security implementation? The large, medium, and small organizations are all taking this differently because of their different size, their different positioning, their different level of resources, and the different level of skills that these organizations have. Let's take a look at what the large organizations are mostly doing. So the issues with the large organizations are that they have missed out entirely on security hardening. And this of course, stands for the medium-size and small-size organizations as well. So security hardening, mostly if you go out in Pakistan and the region, it has not been done as per international best practices. For example, the CIS security benchmarks or the DISA STIGs have not been implemented in a consistent manner across all the IT assets. The second one is that vulnerability management is effectively not being done as per international best practice. As we mentioned, the vulnerability management cycle globally is 1 week or 7 days. So in 7 days, the organization needs to scan all its IT assets and then remediate or fix all the vulnerabilities through patching. But in Pakistan and the region, what we observe is that in most cases, in some cases, the vulnerability management is not even being done in a 12-month period. So the third one is that attempting automation or box approach. Now that the security controls and the vulnerability management and effectively the grassroots security controls have not really been implemented, and because there has been denial in Pakistan and the region since the last 10 years with regards to security, and because the security is one generation behind or almost 10 years behind. So now we're looking for quick fixes, how to automate this entire effort, how to not to build in order to avoid building up the entire security architecture, how can we just now buy a device so it will do everything for us so that we don't have to do all the hard work and so that we don't have to do the grassroots level controls. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. The grassroots level controls, the foundational level efforts really have to be done, and there is no other way. There is no automation mechanism and there's no box approach which is going to solve this. So the issues with the medium-sized organizations are that they don't have sufficient security expertise and knowledge, not the same level which the large organizations have, because the medium-sized organizations are not that well funded or they have not invested that much in IT or in security. The second one is that security was never a focus for them. And most of these medium-sized organizations have grown in the last 5 to 10 years and have become very big and profitable up to the medium-sized extent, of course. And now they have started realizing that security is necessary. And they have built up insecure IT networks just like the large organizations. And fourthly, vulnerability and hardening is missing here too, just like in large organizations. The issues with smaller organizations are very different. Here, they have mostly pirated software. The enterprise antivirus and Microsoft Active Directory is mostly missing. There's not enough budget for security, and no personnel are even allocated for security. If you look at the organogram, then the security, there's no personnel really who have a fixed responsibility to address information or cybersecurity. So the industry status is that it lacks a standard, authentic roadmap on how to achieve security. There's no consistent approach being followed. There's no mechanism to measure security. How secure is an organization? No mechanism or no framework to measure against. And everybody really has a different understanding of how security should be achieved. Every person you ask will have a different view. So this is a look at the cybersecurity maturity matrix. And if you have a look at the blogs on our website, the company website for Delta Tech, you will find the same cybersecurity maturity level, and each cybersecurity maturity matrix level, each of the 6 levels has 4 controls. And we'll talk about all of these controls in the next modules. So how does CSMM really help? It offers a proactive, structured, sequential model to implement security in a consistent manner. The model is certifiable, meaning that security can actually be measured against these controls and against these levels. And you can categorize an organization that it lies at either level 2 or level 3 or level 4. And of course, the main emphasis is that organizations, while building up a structure for security, should not miss out on essential controls. They should not jump the gun, but they should make sure it provides a checklist as well, that they have done everything from the bottom all the way up to the 6th level, and they have not missed anything in between. And then the Cybersecurity Certification Board, which is another effort being taken by our organization, will actually certify individuals and organizations. And for organizations, they will categorize that a certain organization lies at a certain level of the cybersecurity maturity matrix. And this information can be published as well. And it will be very, very helpful because we will start to categorize where exactly we lie in the security journey in reference to the cybersecurity maturity matrix. That's all that we have for this module. Thank you.